What up, my people? What up? We're back for another show. Back with another banger football talk. Brought to you by the Reclusive Artist. We got a lot of news today, people. We got a lot of updates for the Manchester United fan base. It's been a good run of games for the EPL. United have been winning a lot of games under Michael Carrick. And it's safe to say that Carrick is one of the lead figures for the managerial potential job that is in line for Manchester United. And we just got news of Benjamin Sesko and Brian Bemu, have both pulled out of their respective international duties. Seems like they're both injured, but they're expected to come back during the course of the build up towards the Leeds game that we've got. The game against Leeds should be an easy game, but we need to stay focused in top four. I believe if we win the next four games cleanly, we'll get top four. Top three even better. Right now, I'm not really pressurizing the lads. I believe that we can get those sorts of results with Benjamin Sesko and Brian and Mbeumo coming back. They can focus on their fitness, work on their skills. I know Brian Mbeumo needs to work on his skills. And who do I believe is better? Well, they both play different sort of positions, but they can both play the same sort of areas. So if Brian is playing up front against a low block team, I don't want Brian to be playing. I don't want either Brian Mbeumo or Benjamin Sesko to be playing against a low block team. I've said that I want Joshua Zirkzee to be playing. That's what I want. Um, it's basic matter for that Brian Mbeumo cannot play his back against goal. Like my man is not building up very nicely when he plays. What up, Whoop do? Whoop do? What up, man? How you doing, brother? You good? I'm good, man. How are you, brother? Don't forget to like the stream, bro. Like the stream. I prefer Benjamin Sesko in the attacking format if he's coming off the bench. The thing is how the team is set. We don't have enough good players in the attacking format to start over Brian Mbeumo and Benjamin Sesko. That's just my particular take. I was your I was your bexing today. What do you mean your bexing? What the hell does your bexing mean, whoop-de-doo? I gotta just search that up. Hang on a minute. What does your bexing mean? Oh, investigating abandoned, hidden, or off limits man made structures such as factories, tunnels, and hospitals. That's what you were doing today, huh? Urban exploring. Oh, shit. I just learned a new word, urbexing. Urban exploring, bruv. Oh, all right. Whoop you do. How was that, man? Where did you go? Let us know where did you go. But yeah, I believe that if we're gonna be playing striker against a weak low block, weak defensive team, we can play Brian Mbeumo because he's a good finisher. We just can't build up with him because he can't play back against goal. Sesko can't play back against goal either. He's pretty shit on the ball himself. But Joshua Zirkzee doesn't deserve to play every game, considering that both our strikers are on form. Some random house's basement. We try to find a way into the house. Sounds scary, whoop-de-doo. I hope it wasn't a haunted house, bro. Haunted basements. We don't want that, whoop-de-doo. We don't want that, brother. And we got Jason Wilcox and Omar Barada. They're saying that they're keeping their managerial options open, so they're not really answering the press's questions regarding the managerial position for Manchester United, which is something that is smart by their end. They're protecting the club brand and their brand too, and also keeping a little bit of mystery around the club, which is something we need right now. We tried to find a way into the house, didn't find a way though. Not as scary with friends. So you went with your family or with your friends? Whoopsie doo. I gotta do urban exploring myself. I have to. I just gotta see. Well, I have when I was in high school. A friend. All right, cool, whoopsie doo. What's next after urban exploring? What's next after urban exploring? You're gonna skydive. You're gonna go to a theme park. You're gonna go to the movies. So it's smart what Jason Wilcox and Omar Barada are doing. They are sort of more or less looking towards the direction of either Luis Enrique, someone of the likes of De Zerbi. I doubt Enzo Maresca's in the mix, but I also doubt that we get Luis Enrique also. Partially the reason why is I don't see him leaving PSG. I just don't. A bit of adrenaline. I get what you're saying. You want everybody needs some adrenaline in their lives. I don't know. I'll be home, eat something, do some homework, and go to sleep. Go to the park, bro. Go practice football in the park. Have you seen the new Spider-Man trailer? Whoop-de-doo. If you have, let me know. What do you think of the trailer, bro? I've been outside the whole day. What were you doing outside, bro? Besides going urban exploring? Listen, um, do you prefer Marvel or DC? Whoop-de-doo. Let me know. In other news, the new stadium for Manchester United will be privately financed. People, that just shows you we mean business. Ineos and Sir Jim have that rack. They want a private investor investing in our stadium. Jim wanted the UK government to invest in our stadium, but clearly the UK government don't have the funds to be making what we need to make as a football club. So the fact that it's being privately financed, hey, I'm not complaining. Not complaining at all. Just walking and talking with my friend. Nice whoop-de-doo. Yeah, no, whole day I've been working. Not the whole day. I was working in the morning, then I was chilling in the afternoon, gaming a little bit. Put a abandoned kindergarten. Didn't find a way in, sadly. Oh fuck. An abandoned kindergarten. Why you trying to break into abandoned kindergartens, bro? Don't get arrested here. We don't want you getting arrested, whoop-de-doo. Yeah. All the doors and windows have boards. Yeah, a crackhead is staying there, whoop-de-doo. Or some witches are having rituals and are slaughtering chickens and cows in those spots, bro. You never want to go to a place where it's abandoned and it has boards all over the place, bro. Nah, I won't break it. We hope not, whoop-de-doo, man. We ain't got the bail money and the bail funds to be bailing you out. Not as yet, fam. But yeah, it being privately financed is basically insinuating that we have a lot of investors of big money willing to invest some money into the restructure of the stadium, other than Ineos investment, and that is a clear indicator that the club has a lot of funds leading towards the future, probably in the next 10 years. JJ Gabriel, is expected to be a part of the squad next season in next season's preseason. So in our next season's preseason tour, JJ Gabriel is supposed to be in the squad. Yeah, and I think that's like makes sense. Better than throwing him straight into the league games or the cup games. He's not. I certainly think that he's not physically still strong enough to be bodying, and playing with strength on the ball. So I don't think JJ Gabriel will be ready for first team football at this current moment, which is why it's smart that they're allowing him to introduce himself in the squad for next season's preseason against low level teams, not playing their first team players. So it's good for him to re-engage in the team and immigrate in the team. The place is pretty exposed. Oh yeah, I like Marvel more. Yeah, man. Um, I guess the next phase of the Avengers. I don't know why I'm mentioning the Avengers. I'm like I really wanted these movies to end. I really did, but that Spider-Man movie I just mentioned, go watch that that Spider-Man movie. It's gonna be like the first superhero movie that will link to the Avengers movies. So in last Avengers movies, they used Iron Man, Captain America, Thor movies to kind of build to the anticipation of the Avengers movies. That's what they're doing with Spider-Man. That's why I said you should watch the trailer, see what you think, man. For reals. But yeah, man, Jay, from the videos I'm watching, he's got a lot of promise. But youth academy players in this climate, unless they're Barcelona or Main City, man, they're not as good as we used to think they were, man. So JJ Gabriel, I believe like he can be a squad player. I don't see a world beater in his game. I don't see a Mason Greenwood, nor do I see a Jesse Lingard. Like he's a flary winger. That is clinical in the box. That's what I see from his play. Very very fast also, which is something we can utilize. He's athletic. He's a very athletic player, but is not physically imposing enough for the league. Not as yet, to say the least. Same with Chido Obamitan. The same with him. So it's smart to bring him into the team next preseason. De to return soon. This is news we're not aware of. We know that he's slowly in training with the squad, gaining his fitness back. So I believe that if Matis de Ligt comes back, it strengthens our defense, especially in the end of the season. Do we need him in till the end of the season? Is it like a must? He needs to come back. Not really. We still have Harry Maguire and Aiden Heaven still available. So is Lenny Euro. So we have some depth in the defense. If Matis de Ligt doesn't return by the end of the season, I'm gonna check out the trailer right now. Wait a minute. Yeah, man. I thought it was a dope trailer. It was an interesting trailer, but it's nothing we've seen before. It's kind of like the recycling Spider-Man 2 Tobey Maguire storyline when Spider-Man lost his superpowers. That's the story. That's the storyline they're recycling. You see that like modern movies just make me roll my eyes, bro, because they don't have the writers. They don't have the same writers that they used to have. You gotta understand after the writer strike, a lot of the human writers for Hollywood weren't getting paid enough money for their services. So a lot of the writing you see in modern day movies are not written by a very pronounced writer and are written by a producer or someone who thinks they're a writer or AI, because none of the things that you're seeing on TV is actually entertaining anymore. So I never really paid attention until recently now when I'm watching past series from post 2020, from pre 2020, excuse me, because the writer's strike was in 2020. I'm going off topic here, but it's just something that I've been seeing lately. Shows even from pre 2020, 2010, you know, those shows were written better because they were the people that were on writer strike were writing those shows, and they were getting paid the wage bill that they were still complaining about. So it just shows you that people don't really get paid in Hollywood like that, man. Especially the ones who are really working and not a part of the secret cult. But yeah, man, Delir coming back is good. It's a stepping stone into the right direction. I know him coming back will definitely strengthen the squad. Benjamin Sesko's agent on the striker being dubbed the super sub. If you ask me about this, I don't like it. I like super strikers much more. I think Benjamin Sesko is a super striker rather than a super sub. He has started 13 games this year, coming off the bench in 13 games. He scored half of the goals when he started the game and half when he came off the bench. We can see that he is the complete striker, and Benjamin is someone who deserves the name super striker. Well, he's not a complete striker. He's not a super striker either, but he is a striker that scores us goals coming off the bench, which is something that he can handle for now. Until he improves his game, playing his back towards goal, and play until he improves his game technically, and until he improves his build up play, he'll be very much a super sub striker. Him and Brian Bem, they're very limited. Although they provide goals, they're very limited. Joshua Zirkzee is not as limited, but doesn't provide enough of the goals. So, um, it's a tricky situation, but it's a situation based on the amount of quality we have in the striking position. But I don't think he's a super striker, not at all. What did you think, Whoopty Doo? You watched it, man. Seems cool, huh? What do you think of the storyline? Because I feel like it's a recycle from Spider-Man 2, bro. What do you think of that storyline? Because Spider-Man 2, Peter loses his powers. In this Spider-Man, they're more or less trying to go with the same thing. I might go watch it for my friend. Yeah, I might go watch it too, bro. It seems very cool. I'm glad you enjoy it, buddy. I knew you would enjoy it. That's why I asked you well, I recommended that you go watch it. Something that I thought that you would enjoy, buddy. I'm glad you do. Yeah. So now with our no problem with you, no problem, buddy. So with our midfield shortlist, we have Sandro Tonali, Elliot Anderson, and Adam Wharton. Tonali playing for Newcastle, Elliot Anderson playing for Northampton Forest, and I mean Adam Wharton playing for Crystal Palace. Yeah. So Anderson plays for Forest, Adam plays for Crystal Palace. These men them have the same name, damn them, but they're all three solid midfielders. Like I've said, all three of them technically very sound. They all three of them make our midfield better. If we sign one of them, they automatically make our midfield better. So that's why I'm glad that we have three strong links, three strong players we can link our team with. I mean, This is a strong foundation of players, and I think United are unlikely to move for Bruno Guimaraes because he's going to be demanding more wages, and we're trying to keep the wage bill at a certain position because we're not trying to compromise our money for any sub signings to come to the football club. We've made that mistake in the past with the Glazers and other previous managers. So Ineos are going with a new reign in that wage bill, which I completely understand. I completely understand it. And I honestly believe that the best player out of all three of them is Tonali because he's more experienced in European football. He's better technically, better physically. He's got a better football IQ. Adam Morton is just a very good distributor. Very good. Elliot Anderson is a very gifted athlete for the Premier League. So is Tonali. That's why he's the best candidate for all of these guys. The problem with Tonali is can he provide availability with these betting allegations and betting bans that he's always receiving for gambling? So he needs to go to Gambling Anonymous or Gambling Addiction Anonymous, whatever the case that needs to be to get his gambling addiction intact. We need it if we're gonna sign this player so that he can stay disciplined, man. You can't have those rubbish bands when you're playing for my team. This is not Newcastle, fam. This is Manchester United. So I believe Tonali would be the final signing out of all those three midfielders. And in other news is that United are scouting the Frankfurt left back Nathaniel Brown. Now, we did speak about Nathaniel Brown in our last episode, and what I saw from Nathaniel Brown is it's a fullback situation that we definitely need to take care of because Luke Shaw is trash. Luke Shaw does not provide any defensive work long term wise, and the man cannot concentrate for a full 90 minutes for his life. So bring in a young Nathaniel Brown, a player that is wanted by both Barcelona and Real Madrid, will be key factor into the rebuild of the defense. I feel like this transfer window is a make or break for defense, fullback positions, defensive depth, and midfield depth. That's key in our fight to get back to the top of the league. Now, everybody keeps talking to me about the Joshua Xerxes situation, and I'm gonna explain it to you. Why Joshua Xerxes not playing is based upon the performance of other players and the positioning. Now, Brian Mbemu can play right wing and striker. Um, Sesko can play striker. Sesko is a very goal scoring striker. So is Brian. Both of them um, are playing in positions that Xerxes can occupy. But now Xerxes can't get into the team because they're scoring goals. Are they both better than Xerxes? I don't think so. I think Xerxes is better than them technically. Does South Africa have mandatory military? No, they don't, bro. No, they don't. They should have it for certain individuals because we're a very ill-disciplined country, but they don't have it. Yeah, I'm from South Africa, bro. Where do you think I was from, fam? You thought I was from Utah? We do in Finland. Whoop-de-doo, you from Finland, bro? I thought you're from New Zealand, whoop-de-doo. Finland. How is it in Finland? I don't know. I've never known anyone that's from Finland, bro. Well, I'm not. Where you from then? That's crazy. Finland. Yo, bro. Isn't Finland Greenland? Or are they two different things? Let me know. So yeah, he can't get into the team because the other strikers are scoring goals. And if he does get into the team, it's not enough for him to stay in the team because he's got to have to score 2 goals or score a goal coming off the bench. But he can't come off the bench because sometimes Brian scores a goal or, excuse me, because of past previous games where Sesko comes off the pitch and scores goals, it's making it very hard for Zix to get into the team. Now, can this be enough for the boy to be pushed out the squad and ask for a transfer in the next window? It could be. It could be. But it's based upon competition, which is a good thing. And I don't blame him if he needs more minutes and he wants to leave the team. I don't blame him. I would love him to stay because he adds depth. But a player like Xerxes is a player we need for depth. Because next season, when we're playing more games and more tournaments, we're gonna need him. And in those cup games, we're definitely gonna need him. Well, I'm not. Finland is cool, different. Finland is more east, next to Russia, north of Europe. Yeah, it's cold as hell in Finland, bro. I don't know anyone from Finland. That's why I was asking, broski. When was the last time you went to Finland? Tell me what's the culture like there, brother? What the people like in Finland? Let me know, Kazi. But yeah, that's the Joshua Xerxes problem, man. I hope I've explained it to you guys proper. Like he's not getting minutes because he's not good. He's not getting minutes because the guys around him are playing better than him, and they all play the same position as him. So it's a matter of he needs to get lucky when he gets on the bench, and when he starts that game, he needs to get lucky in scoring a few goals and assisting. He had a few spells in the last few games coming off the bench, but it wasn't enough for him to be starting. So he needs to just get lucky, man, and hope the manager allows him to show that he's very useful. I live here, pretty friendly and polite. Quiet if you don't know them. Not gonna lie. Yeah, man. What's the capital of Finland? The city, because it sounds like you're talking about a small town. Yeah, because I don't know any tourist attractions in Finland, fam. Helsinki, yeah, Helsinki, 500K people. That's not bad. Iceland is like 30,000 people, so we know Finland's bigger than Iceland. Let me do some search on Finland. Finland. My brother's in Finland. My brother's in Finland. Yo, you guys have that the color. Yo, whoopty doo, have you seen like in the nighttime the colors, the different sorts of colors out in the sky? I don't know what you call them. You know what I mean though. The different sort of colors in the sky. Finland's kind of small, not gonna lie. People are wise. 5.5 mil. That's like so little. There's like six mil, 900. I think 9 million people. Well, I think there's over 10 million people in my country. Northern Lights. Yes, Northern Lights. Have you seen the Northern Lights? Because like that's the one thing that is popping. The one thing that is like beautiful in Finland. And like the forestry and the skiing. I definitely want to ski in Finland. Definitely want to ski there, man. Yeah, but I live in the city, so they are here. It's not cold year round. Summer's nice. So it's not really cold in Finland, even though I see a lot of snow on these photos, blood. You're not freezing your ass off, whoop de doo. You telling me it's warm? It's like 5 to 10 degrees right now. That's cold, blood. Whoop whoop de doo. That's cold, fam. Five. What time is it? First off, in Finland, what time is it now? Let me know what time is it in Finland. Celsius. Still cold, my G. It's like 12K to get to Finland from here. 15-hour trip next to Sweden. So you Finlands are Vikings basically. You got 9:30 p.m. All right, cool. So we share the same time zones, South Africa and Finland, because it's also 9:30. It's 9:30 p.m. also. Yeah, this winter was the coldest. Was minus 25. Woo! Famo, famo, you were freezing. Frost bites and all that shit, bro. Were you guys still playing sports in that weather? Nah, not really. Vikings were pretty different, I think. But Finland is part of the Viking family. Norway, Finland, Sweden, Greenland, Iceland. They're all part of the same tree, the Viking tree. Correct me if I'm wrong. We were like some villages. We were more like some villages. Oh, okay. Okay. Nah, it isn't really, I think. Okay, okay. Mm, let's see here. What does it say? During Viking Age, Finland was not a Viking stronghold, but played a key role in Eastern trade routes, acting as a source of valuable furs. All right, okay. All right. I got them mixed up. My bad. I got them mixed up. You guys were ruled by some Scandinavian Norsemen. Scandinavian. So it's more Scandinavian. Swedish and then Russians. Ah, okay. It makes sense. Whoop de doo. Trying to learn the culture. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to learn the culture. Then we got independent. Yeah, that's what it's also saying here in 1917. Yeah, yeah. I'm learning my Finland culture. You feel me? Getting closer to my Finland brothers. You know what I'm saying, man? Are there any black people in Finland? Be real with me. Whoop de doo. You ain't gotta lie, fam. Just keep it real with me. Are there any brothers in Finland other than you, my brother? Any black people in Finland that you see, y'all? It's cold as hell, man. That's why I'm asking, bro. I don't really speak much. I don't really speak much. Why don't you speak much, bro? There's black people, yeah. Ah, yeah. See, there's black people everywhere. I, I'm asking for my mom. My mom doesn't believe me when I tell there's other black people in other countries other than Africa. So she needs to know. I mean, I don't speak Swedish. Oh, so when you're outside, what do you speak to? What language do you speak to people? You speak English only? Do you speak other languages? Let me know what to do. Let's get back to the show. Now, with our left wing situation, we've got Jan Diamanda and Imandai. Now, Diamanda is trash. I want Ndai straight up. Ndai provides a better focal point in that left wing, and he's Premier League proven. And he's technically way better than the other guy, bro. Iman Ilman Dai is one of the best left wingers in the Premier League, and Everton are probably going to want 80 million from us, which is it's easy cash for Ndai. It's fresh cash for Ndai, so we got to push for that signing in the left wing situation. Because if Dogo's not playing left wing, I think he needs to play left back. And if he's not playing left back, he plays left wing. Like not millions, but still there's more. There's some Finnish. Some people speak Finnish and Swedish, but that's more on the coast. Finnish and Swedish, do they sound the same? Do they sound different? Are they like languages that you can directly have a conversation with? If you were Finnish, could you speak directly to someone who is speaking in Swedish? Or was it a completely different language? Because in South Africa we have 11 different languages, and some of the languages sound different but translate to the same thing. They have the same meaning. It's a long story, but I'll talk to you about it in depth probably late in the show. Who knows? Not at all. No, probably completely different. All right, okay. Okay, I'm asking because, for our culture, you might be speaking Zulu or Xhosa. They're two different languages, but sometimes they have words that have the same meaning. So that's why that's why I had to ask. So Kobe Mano is in talks of extending his contract with Manchester United, probably until 2020, 2031, basically. And what I think about this is, listen, if we sign another midfield that is better than Tony, he's probably gonna start. He's probably gonna start. I mean, with Kobe, excuse me, why did I say Tony? I said Kobe. With Kobe, it's a matter of, can he provide enough and stay consistent enough to have the midfield role to himself. If we sign Adam Wharton and Tonali, for example, then he's gonna be in the bench. I'm sorry. I think they're good enough to take his position, unless Kobe Mano becomes our number 10. Now, from what I'm hearing, he's in talks with the board and Ineos for the new contract, but it's still unclear as to what exactly does he want, how much money does he want. We know that they're closing in on a new deal after talks reported since January, and it's valid until June 2031. So a new deal is his priority since he returned as a key player under Carrick. So final details ahead, but they're not done yet optimizing the deal. So look, Kobe should stay, man, for the squad. I believe it makes sense for him to stay for the squad depth, and I'm looking forward to the future and what he can provide for the club going forward. I, I think he can provide a massive effect for the club. So it's crucial that we keep players like Kobe Mano. Absolutely, it's important that we keep players like Kobe Mano because we need that depth. We definitely do. We definitely do. So we're happy with that contract. We're really happy with it. And that's all the Manchester United news we've got. Pretty standard, you know. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the end of this season. I really am. I had a presentation about South Africa in school. What did you learn about South Africa, bro? I learned there's like 30 different languages, but 11 are official. Yeah. Yeah, man. We've got a whole bunch of people in this country, man. That's why like the languages are crazy. Is it right? No, we got 11 official languages. Bro, gotta go now. I might come back. All right, shout out Whoopty Doo. Thanks for pulling up, brother. Enjoy your night. So yeah, man, United are in track of all the top four teams and the top three teams. We're the only team that's in track to win more games, win more trophies, to stay top four, and to compete. Like the way we're trajecting and the way Ineos is building our foundations with the signings, wage bills, selling players who are useless. We're building something strong, and that's why I feel like Luis Enrique, if he wanted to leave PSG and come to a Premier League team, he'd only want to come to Manchester United. Because let's be honest, Manchester United is the biggest team in England, damn near the Real Madrid of England. So if Luis Enrique wants to leave, come to us. I don't see it happening because he has everything he needs in PSG. When you have everything you need in one place, it makes no sense leaving that one place and risking everything you had in that one place to start up something that is a bit there's a bit too there's a bit little it's a little bit risky. Yes, it's risky starting for United, but if he's backed by Ineos, he'll have a little bit of a calm mind. You'll have a little bit of a more calm mind knowing that he's backed with anything he needs. But only time will tell. In other news, we got Antoine Griezmann officially announcing that he will be leaving Atletico at the end of the season to join Orlando City. Here we go. Verbal agreement is in place for a deal until 2020, for a deal for July 2026, a free transfer from Atletico. So Griezmann leaving for USA. Well, Griezmann is a baller, man. He's one of my favorite ballers of all time. Antoine Griezmann, man. I believe he's very technical, very clinical. This is a new era in his career, so he's happy. And although he hasn't accomplished much in Europe, he's got a World Cup, so he's pretty fulfilled in his career. Where he's at in his career, an MLS move makes sense. So that's Griezmann for you, another baller leaving Europe. Europe are losing their ballers, very much so. And Griezmann is one of those traditional number 10s that you're never gonna see in modern day football. I just gotta keep it real with you. Gabriel injury worry for Arsenal. They already have William Salabi who broke his ankle, who is also injured. So if they lose another defender who's injured, it's gonna be shaky hours, especially leading up to the last days of the league. It's announced that he has withdrawn from the Brazil squad due to knee injury, knee pain. Gabriel and Salabia, as announced yesterday, will both stay in London to recover. But can they recover in time for their next game? Who knows? Playing with injuries and still having a Champions League and the FA Cup games in coming in their next fixtures. It's a bad time for their two star defenders to stay injured. But hey, this is Arsenal. We like to see Arsenal pain. We like to see Arsenal in tears. So we don't care, fam. All we know is that it's unfortunate for the players, but detrimental for Arsenal's build up and progress for their league. So I'm gonna let y'all know how those updates play out. Enzo Fernandez possibly leaving Chelsea. He's saying there's nothing on the table for now. And that for now, people, is very notorious in football because we know that for now, anytime I play again, it's souped. And he is saying he's going to be looking at his deals after the World Cup. So there's no guarantee that he's staying in Chelsea, nor is there a guarantee that he's leaving. He's kind of in the limbo. But we know for most players who are in the limbo, they're kind of going on the verge of leaving the football club. So if Enzo gets an offer from Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, maybe Juventus, he's going. If he gets an offer from PSG, he's definitely leaving because Chelsea are building a loser squad, a loser foundation, a loser fan base. That's what Chelsea are built. Don't I ain't no way other way to break it to you, man. You cannot sign inexperienced players and give them a 7-year contract with a whole bunch of money, bro. Robert De Zerbi, Roberto De Zerbi might be the manager to replace Ego. Torta's drastic and disgusting run for Tottenham. Tottenham made contact with Eagles camp among interim managers being considered right now. Tottenham planning for an interim coach now and a new head coach next summer with Roberto De Zerbi and high on the short list as so as Roberto uh, Mo- Mauricio Pochettino as well. Listen, Roberto De Zerbi is Premier League proven. Can he get Tottenham to the football that they used to be playing? Absolutely. Pochettino can build up the squad morale because Pochettino is a very good player manager. He's not a very good tactical manager. De Zerbi is a very good tactical manager. When things don't go well for him, he's a crash out. So Tottenham, whoever they get a safe manager, not necessarily a manager that can make them win the title, but they get a manager that can make them compete for the top four and the top fives. So Roberto De Zerbi going to Tottenham could happen, could not happen. It depends on De Zerbi whether he likes the project or not, and whether he'll be back for the project. Because we know in the past years, Tottenham be stingy giving the managers the players that they want. So we'll have to see. Mo Salah announcing that he's leaving Liverpool, which is very shaky and shady because he did sign an extension contract last season. And him announcing that he's leaving this season is a clear indicator that he is tired of the rubbish going on in the club. And the club is toxic right now. They're losing. The board is just asking for a whole lot of demands from Arnie Slot, which is something he cannot provide. And Mo Salah leaving is probably him knowing that Arnie Slot's not going to stay next summer. Um, and it's very hypocritical because last season they wanted him to go. He asked for more money, they gave him more money, and this season he wants to leave. So um, him leaving, despite having a contract extension valid for the club until 2027, is kind of a disrespect. But Liverpool fans will be emo because that's their king, supposedly. But I could care less, man. These guys are in pain. They're off form. And the way they're moving as a football club, they are deteriorating in front of our eyes, people. It's a very toxic club, and the way things are moving, and the players are not happy as well. The players are not happy. So it's gonna come down to a lot of key players leaving. That's what I'll say. That's what I'll definitely say, man. We end off the show with Zinedine Zidane announcing that he will be the head of France managerial position for the international team after the World Cup. And this is good news for the French Foundation. Um, he has had a verbal agreement ready since a few months to become France's next head manager. Plan expected to be activated after the World Cup, so nothing signed yet with Zizou and the Federation due to respect for Didier Deschamps. Zizou can take the next generation with Kylian Mbappe and win a few championships. Definitely. They have the squad, they have the players Michael Lise, Ryan Jerky, Kylian Mbappe, Kamavinga. The list goes on. They have a squad, no doubt. They're favorites for this World Cup, no doubt. And Zizou, with his expertise, his experience, this is a good gig and a good job for him after the Madrid gig. I knew after Madrid he was never gonna come back to club football unless it was a team like Manchester United, PSG, or Manchester City. From how the football rate and how modern day football is going in terms of the quality, I don't think he's gonna risk his managerial record and managerial accolades to manage any other club team. So he'd rather manage his country, which is a smart move from him to protect his PR, to protect his legacy, and to protect his accolades for club. And he'd want a new accolades like winning a FIFA World Cup for his country as a manager. He's already won a FIFA World Cup for his country as a player. So won multiple Ballon d'Ors and multiple European trophies as a player. So this is the last thing for his journey until he retires from football from in entirety as a manager, as as a football god. He retires from the sport completely. And this is a good stepping stone to the end of his chapter, winning a World Cup, winning a European trophy, winning anything in regards to him showing accolades for his country. So, football is going in a weird direction, it really is, with these announcements I've just made. But either way, with Man United, they're looking in the right place. Is football looking like it's going in the right place? I don't think so. I think football in itself as a sport is dying. I think it's more boring. You don't watch the same game the way you used to watch it back in the days. No one can tell me football is the same. No one. So it's exciting. Definitely it is for many United fans. But as a football fan, it's kind of sad. But that is the show. That is football talk brought to you by the Reclusive Artists. May 2026 be the best year of your lives. Shout out to pulling up. God bless. Peace out and one love.